chase attention. Don't chase that momentary stimulation.
Yeah.
Don't chase that instant gratification. Chase impact, bro. Chase impact. I think it's because once you, when you know what you care about, it's always gonna call you. Once you identify it, it's always gonna call you.
Yeah.
So if you're not working towards it, it's that gap we always talk about between, you know, desire and application. It's that gap, what you know you could do or what you could be and what you're currently doing. If you don't close the gap, it's gonna ruin you. What's going on, people? This is Nigel.
This is Brad.
And this is the Uplift Fitness Club podcast.
Hey, we breaking the cycle.
Hey.
We are breaking the cycle.
Hey man, 2021, man, we in the internet age. And there's so many people that are, they feel more enlightened. A lot of people are more enlightened.
Yeah.
As far as, you know, because we have so much access to resources, we can learn about ourselves, learn from other people's experiences. It's all these different forms where you can learn. So we're in kind of like the age of consciousness.
Yeah, it's a good time to be alive.
It's a great, well, besides,
it's a lot of going on.
It's a lot going on.
I mean, man.
It's a good, what's a generation to be a part of.
Man, you could have been a caterpillar.
That's true. You could have been an ant. And I was doing ants dirty back in the day. Well, I'm talking about over with. I was going crazy on the ants. So basically what we're saying is like, we all have this, you know, heightened level of understanding and consciousness based on the resources that have been made available to us. But it's time to apply the knowledge that we've gained to this point. So why is it important to break the cycle? Let's get into it.
You need to level up.
I mean, you do need to level up.
You need to level up. You break the cycle. Not only are you changing this cycle for the betterment of yourself, but for your family, your friends, and, you know, potentially your future family that you will have if you decide to have a family.
Right. I mean, we touched on, in pre-production, we was touching on the different areas that, you know, it's important to address. A lot of times people and their families might fall short in these areas. So let's go over those. You got several different areas. One of which is mental illness.
Right.
All right. A lot of people have a family history of mental illness, and it's important to break the cycle of that for various reasons, which we will get into. Financial destitution. What's another big one that we had?
We had family disruption.
That's huge.
Yeah.
And I honestly, bro, we're gonna touch on it more later, but I was telling my mom, like, and my sister, like, I don't know if I know any example of a family unit that stuck together regardless.
Right.
Like, we 50, 60 years in,
yeah,
and we gonna die together type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't have that in my family, and I don't know anyone.
And I could think of one or two examples, but it's like few and far in between.
Yeah.
So we got family disruption and also consciousness, which is not something that we're trying to break, but it's something that we're trying to tap into.
We talked about why it was important to break the cycle, right?
We ain't go in depth on that though. I feel like we gotta really dig into that. Like, we was real surface on that.
Yeah. So
let's go back in on that, bro. Like,
why is it important to break the cycle?
I guess we could go through the different areas that we touched on. Like, why is it important to break the cycle of mental illness? And sometimes it's not like diagnosed or it's not clinical, but I mean, you can see it in people's everyday existence. Yeah. Some people dealing with anxiety. As Black people in America, a lot of us are dealing with PTSD, and to some extent, based on what we've seen in our environment or, you know, family experiences in the household. Depression is huge. Whether it's
now I started reframing that question in a way too, where, you know, everybody has a cycle, right? Whatever cycle they may personally be going through or their family may be going through.
Right.
I'm sure they have their reasons of why they want to break, right? So they need to look
hold up.
Sit down and like, okay, why do I want to break this cycle?
You know what? I just thought about the fact that, you know how we always talk about, like, maybe you go to your parents with a story and then be like, oh, I went through the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
We touched on that before. But how about not only in these specific realms, but like breaking the cycle of experiences? Like some people, you know, your dad, you say your cousin dad was a rancher or a horse trainer. Now he's a horse trainer. Like lived very similar lives. Like my dad was an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I take it to the next level, or do I just go to the same level that he went to? You know what I'm saying? So like, I kind of feel like as people, you know, we get half our set of genes from here, half our set of genes from here, and then that kind of shapes the foundation from which we operate. So if your mom has anxiety, depression, if your mom has trauma that she experiences or she experienced, it shows up in our genes. There's a lot of research actually being done on characteristics. I don't know exactly the word they use, but experiences being ingrained in people's DNA. So like slavery has a genetic effect on people's consciousness, psyche, whatever.
For sure.
So not only just breaking the cycle of mental illness, family destruction, those are very specific things, but your genetic cycle, like can you alter or augment your future family's genetics based on your actions?
And see, and that comes with, I think with the genetic cycle, in order to break that, or to even come close to it, will go back to your awareness and that consciousness of even knowing that there's a cycle there, one. Then there's a cycle to be broken. 2, how, 3, how we're gonna break that cycle. Like, what are the necessary steps? What can I do to work on myself to break this cycle?
Consciousness.
But awareness, consciousness, that's gonna be everything.
Awareness, acceptance,
right?
That there is a cycle to be broken.
Right.
All right. So let's dig into consciousness. We already talked about how this is the age of awareness and understanding.
Yeah. It's also the age of mindless behavior.
Mindless behavior and wasted consciousness.
Right.
So everyone has all of this information available, but a lot of us don't tap into it.
Yeah.
And don't tap into ourselves and what we want, to improve who we want out of the world.
Right.
We talked about assessment and we talked about oppression. And you said, I'll let you read it.
I can't read that, man.
Man, you can't read that, man?
Man,
I got good handwriting, man. It says escaping oppression in an oppressive society. You were saying...
Oh, that's a whole sentence?
Yeah, you were saying that, like, your aunt, your aunt was saying, do you feel oppressed? You was like, nah.
Right.
But we didn't touch on this, but I would argue before 2017 or 16, whenever you really made the switch,
right,
you were oppressed.
Right.
And you were kind of, what's the word? A product of your oppressive environment.
Correct.
Whether it's societal or familial or internal, it was like, okay, one, we know what school we went to. So I ain't gonna put them on blast, but when you walk in the doors, you get it from the jump. Like, front desk, they don't want to give you no service. You go into class, you come in late, they popping off at the mouth trying to kick you out of class. Going to ISS, in school
standing
suspension.
there for 2-3 hours.
Man, I remember Coach Jones. I'm putting him on blast because he should have never did this, bro. You showed up to school 5 minutes late, you was gonna be in the cafeteria, standing facing the wall for 2 hours until he felt like letting you go.
Right.
What is that, bro?
It's wasting your time.
Wasting your time.
I don't even understand what was the motive about. Like, what did they really want us to learn?
I have no idea. I don't think
it was just straight, what they call it, power tripping.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it literally was. Like, there was nothing I could have gained from that experience other than I don't want to do this again.
Right.
But you're not addressing the problem. Like, he has no idea why I was late.
Right.
I could have been BSing, or I could have just been like, literally, I missed the bus, had to walk to school, now I'm 5 minutes late.
Yeah.
But you're treating everyone as if all of our circumstances are the same.
And that's a big one because breaking the cycle definitely starts from an early age of experiences that we go through at an early age and things that we were taught by our parents. So, a lot of things that we go through is already, stimulated from early age, childhood, things that we were taught, things that, we watch our parents do.
Heard them.
And genetics on top of that, on top of the experiences.
You said early in pod history, man, if you ain't been tuned in, early in pod history, we read a quote. It said, the illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write. Yeah. It will be those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
At this point, we're aware that there is a cycle to be broken. We're aware that we've been ingrained by our experiences and shaped by our experiences, our genetics. But now what do? We've identified the problem. We have to determine what we need. So if you need, whether it's motivation, you need opportunity, finances, you need maybe a different environment, determine what you need, find resources that might be able to provide it for you. So sometimes it's not gonna be easy. Like most of the times it's not gonna be easy. Like if you don't come from money, you might have to grind hard for 3 to 5 years, stack, live below your means, and then go to the next level. And maybe then you get your education, or maybe you gotta go to the armed forces. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Make a short-term sacrifice for a long-term gain. So you find resources that can provide you with opportunities. Make a plan, which is kind of the same step. Find the resources, plan your route, and then you gotta execute.
Execution.
You gotta execute, bro.
You gotta set those boundaries in place.
Yeah, set up the environment. Where you can be successful.
Create that home field advantage.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be the only way you're gonna execute.
And that's gonna allow you to be disciplined. Because that's the next thing. It's like you could execute for 3 months.
Right.
But that's just gonna get you in the door. Then once you get into the facility, what you do after that is gonna determine how far you go.
Yeah.
So you can't just get to, okay, I'm making 60,000, I'm good.
You're good, yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could.
You could.
But why would you?
You could. I mean,
60,000 a year ain't enough. It might be enough to break the cycle. But you're not about to, because it's not about to be multi-generational.
You gotta look at it, right? So like, everybody has their own cycle, right?
Right.
They want to be broken. Everybody experiences different. Some things that we worried about, other people
could
not
care less.
right? But I know our audience, they ain't settling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not settling. So they want more, they want to do more, they want to be better, they want to help improve, other people's lives. They want to improve their family lives. They want to improve their life. Because if your life is improved, everybody else's life around you is going to be improved.
A rising tide lifts all ships.
This is what it is.
Boy, I'm like Yoda. What? Hey, we gotta get back on the phrases, man. You been learning the phrases?
I need it. We're gonna get there. 2021. We're gonna give you an Uplift Fitness Club. We're gonna give it to y'all.
You know what though? We ain't even address where we at right now.
Where we at, man?
Man, we ain't even address where we at, man.
We breaking the cycle.
We done broke the cycle. Look,
breaking the cycle in 2021.
If you don't know, if you've been listening, then you will know a couple things. One, we ain't missed a week yet on the pod, man. We 23 for 23. You know what I'm saying? So if you listen to the pod, you gonna get a pod on Tuesday.
Hey, shout out to Naja. Hey, man told me from day one, hey, we can't not miss a day.
You can't miss a day, man. It's something psychological.
Got the Kobe jumper on this one.
It's something coincidentally, it's the Kobe episode.
Yeah,
but like we can't miss an episode psychologically for me because I spent so much time in that like mediocre realm of where it was okay to make a mistake, okay to compromise on something you care about.
Right.
It's like, okay,
that's over with.
I can control this totally. I'm the one who can control this.
Yeah.
So this is not going to last.
Yeah.
Just like training, like I'm not going to go more than a week without. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You know what I'm I'm saying? Not by choice.
Right.
And if it do, I'm going through something. I got to get back on it. So if I can control it, we're going to do this. But if you've been listening, the sound quality been bad sometimes. We've been in different locations. We ain't really have a podcasting home. But it's 2021 now, man.
It's 2021. Things are changing.
Things are changing. We sitting in the boardroom right now, on a Sunday night.
On a Sunday night out here
in the undisclosed location.
Out here.
We on location, we ain't even giving too much. But what we gonna call this, the green room?
Yeah, this the you think about life.
Where's boom boom? Hey, yeah, man, we got a location, man, and it's really a good feeling because, not to mention the fact that you 40 minutes away as opposed to 2 hours.
Yeah, we was doing, man. We was making it happen in 2020, man.
Well, whatever, on whatever,
we was making it happen.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a big jump, man. I know we looking good. We on camera right now.
Yeah.
Black skin does well under the light. So even though I ain't lined up right now, I know my skin on. You know what I'm saying? Nah, but so yeah, man. Let's get back to it.
Breaking the cycle.
So we talked about consciousness,
right,
and the steps to actually
break the cycle.
Gaining awareness and break the cycle. Let's talk about some of the other domains to where our people like us are typically affected. We gotta go. What you want to go finance?
Go finance. Hey, quick question to the people, man.
Go ahead.
Sit down, take a look in the mirror, right, and just ask yourself, what cycle do you want to break?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because it might not be on this list.
So what cycle do you want to break, right? What's something that you always thought, like, man, I want to change that. Or I wish this was different in the family. Or when I have kids, I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this. This will not happen.
Yeah, for sure. It's important. That's that self-evaluation, that assessment. You gotta assess. So even though we talking about what we talking about, we just giving you the steps from our mind,
right,
of how you could go about it. It's an invitation.
Right.
It's not an obligation.
Right.
So you evaluate for yourself, determine what you want to change, and maybe you follow these steps, or maybe you come up with your own steps. But do something.
Gotta do something.
Can't
sit on it. Can't wait on it. Man, we in 2021 now.
We in 2021.
It don't even sound. It's crazy.
Man,
time, man.
It's going by.
What you got for them, man?
Financial destitution, particularly for African Americans in America, which is redundant as hell, but particularly for African Americans, we oftentimes deal with financial destitution. Destitution is a state without money or prospects. So when I think of that, a lot of people don't even know, I'm gonna even say me, I don't even know what generational wealth is. I don't know what a number is to where I can say, okay, we're good, we're never gonna be in this place again. Yeah. I could guess, but I don't have any examples of people I can talk to, okay, this person has secured their financial future for their entire family.
Right.
And they'll never be in this.
Right, at least for them and their immediate family.
Exactly.
For sure.
So if we're talking about destitution, I'm thinking okay, to retire at 65, you might need $1 million. God willing, you live a long, healthy life.
Right.
And you can support your family, you can be there for your grandkids, whatever you want to do, and have a good quality of life.
Right.
But $1 million is just for you and your immediate situation. You and your wife, or your estate is taken care of. Ain't nobody gotta pay no bills when you go. That's good, but that's gonna run out. So how do we make sure that those around us are never gonna be in the position that we're in today if we're not where we want to be? There's a lot of ways to do it. I would say that there are easy ways to kind of set up, maybe not generational wealth, but at least a cushion to where people aren't dependent on, I have to do this until I'm 65, 70 years old. We can get a little bit better with each generation. And one way you can do that, life insurance, man.
Life insurance.
Life insurance.
Did we talk about that last podcast?
I don't think we didn't talk about that last, but we talked about retirement planning.
Okay.
But we didn't touch on life insurance though.
Want to throw that in there?
Nah, man. So I mean, we can go more in depth in another episode because I feel like that's huge.
Yeah.
But just know, like, if you're in your 20s and 30s, particularly under 30, it's imperative that you get a life insurance policy. Like, every day that you go by and you ain't got that, bro, you could have died.
Yeah.
Like, I'm even nervous. Like, I just had my appointment, the little checkup with the nurse, and it's like, all right, when they gonna call me back? Because I need this jump to start.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I'm taking trips, not taking trips, but I'm driving. Like, every day it's a potential, and God forbid, but it's like we gotta be thinking ahead. Okay, so life insurance for yourself, your significant other, if you have one, should have a policy. I believe you can take a policy out on your kids too.
Yeah.
And then just with that, everyone in your immediate circle, when they pass, the ones coming after, the beneficiaries are gonna have something.
Pretty good.
All right, and you can get, I mean, making $20,000-$30,000 a year, you can get a $300,000 or $400,000 policy to where if you go, somebody get broken off.
Yeah.
300,000,
Change a lot of
500,000. You could get
change a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I will say with that, and this is why, like, the consciousness, your awareness, it's important that these people got a game plan. Like, they not any old body just gonna get a lump sum of money.
That's true.
Because that gonna be gone in about. You can find a way to mess that up.
That's true.
Find a way to mess that up. So you gotta be talking to whoever in your immediate circle who will receive that.
You know how you can also influence that though, and then we can get into this family, creating a family unit and a blueprint for your family to operate from. Now it's a delicate balance because if you're overbearing, then you can create the exact opposite of what you're looking for.
Right.
But I mean, when you look at Black family structures, we already know it's been disrupted by government policies where Black men were being taken to jail, incarcerated at a high rate. Child support. You basically, the court's giving you money to not let the father see his kids. Like, I mean, this ain't conjecture. This is facts. My dad was on child support.
Right.
My sister's dad was on child support. Like, we know plenty of people who that's just the situation. Because in the 90s, 80s, I feel like that was like square one. If the relationship don't work out, put your dad on child support, or at the very least, asking for money. You know what I'm saying? The mom is gonna get the kid. A lot of times it wasn't successful co-parenting.
Right.
So it's like, how do we change, what happened, and then move forward with a better foundation? We gotta address the family structure and get rid of, this estrangement that inevitably takes place a lot of times.
Right.
So I mean, how do we address that, bro? Like, where does that start? I feel like it starts with a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything starts with a decision. Yeah.
That's why everything always ties back to the mindset. Where's your mind at?
Yeah. Like, what do you want?
You gotta be mentally prepared for life.
For sure. You gotta have a vision of what you want to have happen. Like, if you want kids, right, and you want to have all of your kids with the person that you love, and you want the family to stay together, you have to act in accordance with that desire. So what type of person are you? You know what I'm saying? Are you a person that is going to lie? Are you a person that's going to be deceitful? Are you a person that wants the attention of people outside of your situation? And if you are, you're probably not prepared to have what you envisioned.
Right.
So then you have to do some work, go back to consciousness and assessment, and determine, okay, why am I dependent on attention from other people? Now, I've dealt with that, bro. Like, I've been in relationships where, like, I was fresh into it, right? But because I feel like I got it going on, that's a crit, bro. I sound like I'm in the 90s. Because I feel like I got clout, or I got, sauce, whatever it is. I could still get attention, and I was feeding off of that. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, I'm not giving everything I can give to my partner.
Right.
Not to the extent of cheating, but just to the extent of like, I'm not being as supportive as I should be.
Right.
Okay. And it's going to have a direct negative impact on the relationship.
Right.
And it's not going to yield the results you're looking for. So now you stuck looking on stupid like, damn, I messed up. It's okay. Everybody make mistakes.
Right.
But do the work to change. Don't just get out of this relationship
and go to
the next one. And the same thing. You can't do that. So I think a lot of people need to everybody considers stuff. You need to just do something.
Yeah.
So everyone who is dealing with an inability or a deficiency to change their circumstance should seek therapy. Create an open dialogue with a supportive, peer group or family member, and be honest about your situation with yourself. So seek help from professionals. Determine what the root causes are of your situation. Like, bro, the therapist will tell you something so simple that you just never made the connection on.
You be like,
but you knew it. You knew that this was true and you knew that this was true, but you had no idea that they were connected. You know what I'm saying? So definitely seek professional help to just deal with those things that you might not have gotten over, that you didn't even know were problems that hinder your relationship.
Help you put things together and take you to a place where you want to be.
Then another thing, bro, I mean, as men, we can speak about it from a male perspective, but what do you seek in a significant other? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, what is important, what should be important to a person when you look into, all right, this is the person I'm going to settle down with.
Right.
I feel like that's flawed in a lot of cases, bro.
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing for me is somebody who has I don't want to say the same vision as me, but somebody that can help me bring out the vision that I had.
Right.
Help me, because a lot of times you get in relationships, right, people get consent, they get super comfortable, right? They're not getting things done that they once got done, maybe in terms of, personal development or something that you want out of your career or something.
You find, like you said, content or comfort in the situation.
Right.
You don't develop yourself no more.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody who's gonna call you up, like, hey, you said you wanted that.
Yeah.
What you doing now? You know.
I won't say it's hard to find. I think it's a couple things. It is somewhat hard to find because even if you tell a person, sometimes they can change and be supportive in that way. And I've experienced that where people actually tried to give me what I was looking for.
Right.
But then you got to deal with your ego. And if you're not the type of person that can take criticism and you ask, it's crazy, bro. I've asked for accountability partners and then resented them for holding me accountable.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. Like
I haven't actually asked for that. I've just looked for that out of the person. I haven't opened my mouth and hey, I need you to do this for me. I'm only seen hey, when I'm with this person, am I still productive?
Yeah.
Does this person help? Do I feel can I reach my goals, my dreams with this person?
That's tough. It's something to be said for not always voicing what you're looking for.
Right.
That takes seasoning, bro.
Yeah, I mean sometimes, man, like Pre, shout out to Pre.
They don't know who Pre is. Pre a monster.
Shout out to
I don't even know who Pre is, but I know who she is.
Yeah.
I don't know her though. I know she's a monster though.
Shout out to Pre, man. Pre said this, and I've heard it before. Said either you is or you ain't. And I don't know why, she got the Louisiana accent, and it sounds so different coming from her. And I forget what conversation we was having about, man, what we was talking about, but she gave it to me just like that. Either you is or you ain't. And some things that you ask out of somebody, that's just not them. They can probably keep it up for a little bit, but it's just not them. So I need to know that, with my partner that is genuine, that is them. That's something that, they can sustain on a day in, weekly basis, monthly basis, annual, yearly basis.
Right.
They can keep that up because that's just them.
That's
the energy that they bring in. That's the frequency that they on. Like that's just what it is.
I feel that. I feel like I'm going back to the male perspective thing.
Right.
The youngest, a lot of times it's like, do she look good first?
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is. And
body.
Obviously, like, you're gonna want to be attracted to your partner.
I think that's important.
It ain't no thought, bro. That's important.
It's important.
But I mean, be realistic. Like, I gotta be attracted to you. But at the same time, that's not enough.
No, absolutely.
It's not enough. But that complimentary piece is what I feel like you was referring to. Like, can this person be, or maybe even supplement? You know what I'm saying? Can they add to the situation?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's both. You know what I'm saying? Can they complement me in the areas that I'm good at, and then can they add in the areas that I'm deficient in?
And that's something too in terms of a relationship where, like, starting 2020 was something that I wanted to change after listening to E.T. for the 1000th time.
Yeah.
But he just talked about bringing the best value that you can within a relationship, any relationship.
Yeah.
Not just your relationship, relationship with your mom, relationship with your dad, relationship with your peers, relationship, and of course your relationship with your significant other. And like I ask myself that question all the time. Like sometimes I just think about that at home. Like, okay, like how can I bring the best value? Let me go ahead and wash up these dishes real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
Take out this trash real quick, just so shoot, I've been home, make the place look right. Little things that people will appreciate.
So I mean, I think with all of these though, bro, planning.
Yeah.
Clarification, bro. We always go to the same stuff. It's like training. I be training these young boys, man, and it's like we doing speed training, we doing strength training. I only got 10 cues. Like, there's only 10. If we doing sprint training, I only got a few cues. Toe up the dry your foot, push the ground away. You know what I'm saying? Forward lean during it. Like, it's only a certain amount of cues I got for you. If we lifting weights, big chest, thoracic extension, tuck your chin. You know what I'm saying? Like, knees apart on it. It's only 6, 7.
So much, yeah.
We gonna fall back on the same stuff. So planning, assessment, reassessment, execute, all of these things are gonna lend themselves to you dominating and breaking the cycle. Financial destitution, do you have it? If you ain't got no money, 9 times out of 10 you ain't got no plan. Okay? Right. So sit down, develop your plan, determine what you need, get the resources, and then execute.
Yeah, because a lot of people out here that don't have no money, they are making money.
That too.
If they, you can put it down on paper, you can figure something out.
Yeah,
something just happens when you write
something down on paper.
Something just happens. I don't know.
But I mean, how many people sit down and write? Like, I mean, it's people who do financial plans. It's people that write down what they're grateful for and try to get more consciousness. And
anything that you're paying attention to will change. Like,
if you hold on to an idea long enough.
If you hold it long enough. I mean, anything that you're kind of like, okay, so when we went over our finances, right?
Right.
You remember, you be in a drive-through, McDonald's drive-through, you don't know how much money you got in your check.
Yeah, you just hoping. I think I got it crazy. You hoping on
that check when I think I got enough. You got to pay attention to your finances. The moment you start paying attention to where your money is going and how you're using your money, it would change regardless of whether you're making $8 an hour or $100 an hour. It would change.
Right. I think it's the other thing though is like, all right, so you can't judge yourself too harshly.
Right.
You can't judge others too harshly.
Correct.
So with the family part, the family piece, if we're talking about creating your expectations for your family, when people don't, now, you got the 80-20, right? A person can be giving you 80% of what you need, and you see everybody else you feel like they probably don't. You gotta stick it out with this person. But I mean, even with your kids, when you have your kids, I ain't got no kids. I'm gonna have some kids. A lot of people got this idea, my son's gonna be an athlete, and my daughter is gonna be, she's gonna be an athlete, or I don't know what daughters do. That's just gonna be a doctor or a lawyer. Like
Yeah.
they got these rigid expectations for their children,
Yeah.
and it kind of just stifles the kid. And even
Yeah.
though they might have the ability, they might start resenting you and then underperforming
Facts,
because they
right,
don't
'cause
feel supported.
You gotta, not necessarily in my family, a little bit in my family, but people try to push on their dreams, on their children, on what they wanted to accomplish on their children.
Yeah, I think you gotta just set the. Go ahead.
I was kind of just getting to like on what I want out of my children, really just the awareness and them having the options. That's my biggest thing. So like, even with knowing that like, you can go back to athlete, or I got athletic ability.
Yeah.
My lady, she got athletic ability, so we have a child. Look, they have the option.
Y'all can't see his legs get to shaking. He excited.
I would never force him to play in the sport, but I know
you got it.
They got the option.
Right.
If they want to do it, I know they can do it. They won't be out here like some people that we went to elementary school with.
And they just
can't catch.
Forcing them.
Nah, I ain't talking. I'm just going off the genes.
Oh, you talking about at PE?
I'm talking about just the genes that some of them had. They just can't catch.
God.
They can't do nothing, right?
Oh my. Last pick in the draft. I
know they got the option. They got the option. Here are the options, right?
It's all there.
And I have the conscience. I have the awareness now to know that whatever you go hard in, they could be painting this wall.
Horse training.
They could be horse training. Anything you go hard in, if you're the best at it, somebody gonna cut you a check, or you be cutting your own checks.
If you are the best that you can be in that moment,
right? You can come down to even the nose ring. If you're the best at making that,
it's the moment. It's moment to moment. Life is a series of moments. So it ain't about you saying the best. It's only one best.
Right.
But in that moment, if you're doing what you need to be doing to be the best in that moment, then it's gonna come.
It's gonna happen.
But it's those strings of days and weeks and months where you're off your purpose, where you get the setbacks.
Man, it's a lot of things to do out here. I know there's a from the chairs that we sit in, from the table that we using, from this wall, this TV, to a logo that you see on the front of a building.
For sure.
Somebody created that, and they changing the world.
All right, let's touch on mental illness. Then we can wrap this joint up.
Mental illness.
I know we kind of we did a little bit, but I want to just go a little bit more in depth.
My biggest things on mental illness coming up with depression and anxiety.
I think everybody experienced that.
Yeah.
Everybody. I actually just found out I got social anxiety.
Yeah.
And you know what? You don't even have to go to a professional.
Yeah.
Because it's plenty of assessments you can do online to see if you have some of the common symptoms of some of these diseases. And just because you get a diagnosis does not mean that you're crazy. Like it doesn't mean that you. I don't know what else people think. Like it's not that, bro. I got a diagnosis of some type of mild depression or unspecified depression. It's like, bro, okay, you ain't never felt depressed before.
Yeah.
Like I know you have.
Yeah, some form of depression.
Yeah, like if you sat in your room because you was sad because something happened, you was depressed that day. So it ain't nothing, man. I think the stigma is kind of wearing off. Yeah. But some people still got it in their mind.
Yeah, and I think for me, overcoming that, man, everything is tied back to my mind. I need to go back to school and major in psychology or something.
Man, I really wish I did major either philosophy or psychology, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
cause man, everything that is the fundamentals. That's the foundation to everything, right?
Yeah.
Like that's your machine up there. Like without that, it's a wrap. That gotta be right.
Hey, addiction. We can touch on addiction, bro. We know it shows up in a lot of different ways.
Addiction.
A lot of forms.
Yeah.
It's we was just talking about gaming, bro.
Yeah. Oh man.
It's rampant.
Man, I didn't even want to eat food, man. It was that bad.
It was that bad, man.
Man, I'm talking about I'm eating my food in 2. You know how I eat slow, baby. I'm talking about when I was addicted to the game.
Yeah.
Bro, eat my food in 2 seconds.
Goodness gracious.
I wasn't even chewing it.
Yeah, it was a little bit hectic, but I mean today it's even worse because that internet component, like it was heavy when we was kids, but I'm not gonna lie, bro, I've never played a game online like in my house.
Yeah,
I never did that.
It's a different level. Online gaming wasn't even really a thing until we got in high school.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you got kids right now, like that's
they've never not
known the world.
Story mode is what are you doing?
Yeah, we came up having to play story modes and play by ourselves.
Yeah, for sure. But look, it's not. I mean, obviously, it's alcohol addiction. You got sex addiction. You got, attention addiction.
Mm-hmm.
You got social media addiction. It all falls back into probably a select few things, right? So I think you have to understand why it's arising. You're probably feeling the deficiency somewhere, either in mental stimulation. If it's attention, then you're not getting attention somewhere, or you value it too much.
Right.
You're coping through self-medication with alcoholism, or God forbid, pill addiction.
Mm-hmm.
It's like so many pitfalls people can fall into. Food addiction.
Yeah.
You can't control your weight. You got self-image issues. It's so much we can get into.
Definitely a lot.
But I think it all falls down to a lack of. We can't simplify it like that, bro, because it's too multifaceted.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, even if you're aware, you have to take action steps and go outside of yourself sometimes, especially in cases where you're addicted to something. Sometimes you don't have the answers.
You're right, and I'm starting to think back like to an early age, right, when we was younger or we was kids. You don't even realize that you have an addiction until later. Like, not even only you realize, like, you don't even care. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like, I didn't care that I was addicted to this video game.
Because with addiction, you don't have nothing else to do. What you got to do? But you better get on this game, boy. What's wrong with you?
But you're definitely, getting into the adult life, and you start getting that more awareness, right? You start building that consciousness of like, okay, why are these things happening? Why am I not getting the results on whatever it may be? And you start putting it down on paper, like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing. Okay, this is what I'm addicted to. Okay, this is I have suffer from depression. I have anxiety.
Don't chase attention. Don't chase that momentary stimulation.
Yeah.
Don't chase that instant gratification. Chase impact, bro. Chase impact. I think it's because once
the cycle right there.
when you know what you care about, it's always gonna call you. Once you identify it, it's always gonna call you.
Yeah.
So if you're not working towards it, is that gap we always talk about between desire and application. It's that gap, what you could do or what you could be, and what you're currently doing. If you don't close the gap, it's gonna ruin you. So we gotta be of the mindset to determine what we care about, chase impact in that direction without compromise.
Right.
If you fall off, get back on the wagon and keep going.
Right, and that's how you get closer to breaking the cycle.
Yeah.
And even like you said, once you get through that front door, keep going.
You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going until you create heirs and a lineage and a leadership tree that's well beyond your wildest imagination. Like when you got 100 people that you help develop, or 1,000 people that you influence to be a better version of themselves, you'll never go broke. But if you keep it, if you hoard it, and you just stacking your retirement and you don't teach nobody else, who are we to hold this information?
Man, how you doing rich? You got rich people on your payroll.
You cut it down.
Write it down.
You can't wait your whole life to make a change.
Believe in yourself.
Innovate with integrity and intentionality.